Hello everyone, today I'll be discussing the leadership concept map. For me to be able to better divulge the information on this map, I created a spider concept map, which starts with one key main point and branches off into several others. My first branch was into whether it was follower-centered or leader-centered. Follower-centered means that the leader focuses primarily on the follower and his or her needs over the leader's needs, whereas leader-centered focuses on the leader's needs over the followers. So, my follower-centered leadership theories are path goal, transformational, adaptive, team, and servant. My leader-centered, however, are trait, leadership ethics, skills, behavioral, situational, and authentic. For both of them, I chose the LMX theory. First, I'll start talking about the path goal theory. The path goal theory focuses on the relationship between the leader's style and the characteristics of the followers. The main goal of the path goal theory is to motivate the followers. Next, I'll move on to transformational. Transformational is a shared vision between the leader and the followers. I view this as being quite important because it means that the leaders and the followers are on the exact same page. Next, I'll move on to adaptive. Adaptive focuses on how leaders help others do the work that they need to do to better adapt to challenges. Adaptive is a key thing for followers and leaders to have, which is why it's under the follower-centered. Next, I'll move on to team. Team. The leader helps the team accomplish its goals by monitoring and diagnosing the team and then taking action. Team is under follower-centered because the leader doesn't get super involved. They're just monitoring and helping the team into the direction of its goals so they can be achieved. Finally, I will discuss servant. Servant is when the leader puts the good of the followers over self. To me, the servant is the highest kind of leadership that anyone can have. Although the other forms are very important, to me this is the most important one. Next, we'll move on to leader-centered. I'll start with the trait approach. The trait approach believes that you must be born a leader and can't develop the traits. It's solely centered around the leader and the skills that they have. Next, I'll move on to leadership ethics, which focuses on who the leaders are and what they do. Leadership ethics is all about the leader and how the leader can better develop their skills to help the followers. Next, I'll move on to skills. Skills emphasizes the skill a leader can develop and learn to become more effective leader. Next, we move on to the behavioral approach. The behavioral approach is what a leader does and how a leader acts. This approach is under the leader-centered because it's solely focused on the leader and what they're doing and how they handle certain situations. Next, move on to situational. Leaders are effective in a wide variety of situations with different goals and outcomes. This is solely focused on the effectiveness of a leader in all these different situations and not on how the followers handle it. Finally, we'll move on to authentic. Authentic is when a leader acts as a catalyst for change. So they're real with one another, and although this one is under leader-centered, it takes a lot of effort with the followers as well. Finally, I'll move into the LMX theory, which I believe is both follower-centered and leader-centered. The LMX theory is the interactions between followers and leaders in an in-group and an out-group. In the in-group, it's equal contribution by both the follower and the leader, which is why I view the LMX theory as being follower-centered. But in the out-group, the leader doesn't tell the followers anything, which is why I view it as being leader-centered. Now, as you can see, this concept map works very well for me to better understand the different styles of leadership and what they mean. By dividing it into two main categories, I was able to differentiate between the different styles of leadership while still understanding how they interact with one another. Thank you.